Hey, Colabcoaching here again to share some wise words of wisdom for the week. So, as I said, every week we're gonna be go ahead and have a special guest talk about different relationships, issues, and different topics that are they're currently affecting your life, or have affected your life. So, I am here today with my brother, my younger brother Richard.
What's going
Um,
on?
as you might see the resemblance or not, depends.
Slightly, you know.
So if you don't know who I am the collab coach. I focus on relationships, but not only intimate relationships, relationships with your friends, families, neighbors, co-workers, and the most important relationship of all, with yourself. So today we're going to talk about um, having conflicts in your relationship for long periods of time. So um, what I want to start off with is asking Richard, have you ever dealt with a situation where you have had conflicts or arguments in your relationship for a long period of time? And if so, how did you resolve that?
Well, yes, of course, like most of us have, we all have had conflicts in our lives, in relationships. With mine, it was a little more intense than other people would experience. Pretty much how I dealt with it, of course, someone may yell at you, they may try to attack you, they may use words to provoke you. However, I stayed silent and didn't take it to heart because at the time, those people may be reacting off emotion or they may be reacting off something that you may have said that they didn't understand. But what I try to do is break it down to the point where we can both understand and we can both realize what's going on and come to a solution. Sometimes some people may not want to come with the solution at the moment because they may be upset, but hey, we can always work it out if we talk it out.
Okay. So, for example, since you have said that you have dealt with those situations before, so my question would be like, what if you were in a situation where you you were in a conflict with your significant other or a friend or whatever, and they didn't want to get out the argument. They just wanted to stay in the argument. They didn't want to actually talk about a situation, but rather they just wanted to stay mad. So how did you deal with that?
Well, of course, I would try to reason with them, say, hey, we don't have to be arguing because when we argue, there's stress. When we argue, there's trouble. You would try to use reasoning with that person. Hey, I'm not upset. You may be upset. Why are you upset? Let's figure this out. Let's talk about it. Let's work together for a solution. If that doesn't work out, then it's hard for us to isolate ourselves from that person because you want them to be healed, you want them to not be upset with you, that you want them to understand where you're coming from. But in that situation, the best thing to do, or what I do, is usually just walk away and give that person some time to kind of calm down and simmer down because the emotions may be high and that may affect what that person does.
Okay, so you're saying a lot about what you would do in a situation, which is awesome. But what if they're your significant other, your partner is like, I don't want to talk about this for a long period of time. What do you do? Are you more inclined to say, hey, you know what, I'm just gonna walk away, or would you try to resolve the situation even though they don't want to?
I would still try to resolve it. For me, I like to be persistent. Sometimes that may not be the best option, but I would just try to keep seeing, give them some spaces, probably 2, 3 minutes between, like, hey, do you want to talk about it? Hey, what's wrong? If they receive that in a negative manner, if it kind of seems like they're not open to you reaching out to them, then you just have to walk away. Ultimately, if you don't do that, you may upset that person even more, and then you may escalate the situation. Then you may get involved emotionally, and you may react. So I would say best thing to do is just go ahead and step out for a few minutes, and then come on back and try again.
Mm. Have you ever been in a situation where that didn't work out, and you know what did you do from there?
I have been in a situation where that didn't work out. Of course, I was in a different state. There was a lot of stuff going on, and pretty much I just had to sit there and take it for a second. With the situation details, discreet, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, um, I had to step out, and that didn't work out either. So we just had to sit there in silence. And finally, one person said one thing, then we, led to another. And ultimately, you know, we found a solution. The solution took some time, took some weeks, if not if not months, but um, it's just from working little by little, figuring out what issues this person has compared to what I had, and then ultimately we came to a conclusion that it wasn't gonna work.
Mm,
So
mm. So your approach, as far as you having conflicts within a relationship, is to take a step back, especially if your significant other wants to be in a conflict for a long period of time. Your suggestion is to just take a step back, and if it works out, it does it. If it doesn't, is there any other ways, any other paths you use to help the situation, or any other things that you feel like will help? When you have a significant other or a partner, um, in a sense, wants to stay in that argument, wants to be mad, for a given amount of time. What are some other things you think would be best
you can
or have
use
worked for you?
you can use diversions, and diversions people like to receive things that they weren't expecting. So if there's a gift you want to give to that person just to show, hey, even though we're still in this conflict, I'm still going to give you this gift because I care about you and I want to make sure that you're happy. You can also see if someone else that's close to that person can reach out and actually say, hey, and depending on what the circumstances is, because some people like to say private in their situations, but if it's something simple, you can ask advice from someone who's older, someone who has been in an experienced relationship, or someone who has been married for a long period of time. Because if you talk to the old heads, they do know exactly why their relationship has lasted that to that point. And they do certain things that allow that relationship to last up to that point. So, you can seek advice from someone older. You can just randomly surprise somebody with a gift, or just do something nice for someone. Once you do something nice for someone and they're still trying to treat you in a negative manner, then it's on that other person, because at the end of the day, you showed a gesture which, led to you wanting to end the conflict or have a resolution to the conflict.
Okay. Good, very good answer. So, I guess one of my final questions is that, are you a type of person that's more conflict resolution, as far as you always want to, as soon as there's an argument happening, you just want to have it resolved right away? Or are you the type of person that's like, okay, that's fine, that you want to be, that we having arguments, you're upset, and you're okay with being in an argument? Or are you a type of person that just wants to step away?
Well, I can do both, but of course everybody can do a little bit of both. But ultimately, just like working at stadium or Mercedes Benz, we have a lot of conflicts that go on, and you want to have a resolution to the conflict because everybody wants to leave happy. Nobody wants to be upset. So of course we can play both sides, but the best option, of course, is to end the conflict, and that's the thing that I like to do. Just end it right then and there. Figure out what the problem is. Let's lay it out. Let's be transparent about it, and let's go ahead and end it right there, just like that, so that we can continue on and progress. Because ultimately, we're trying to grow. We're trying to progress. We're trying to do better. We're trying to be better people. We're not trying to stay stagnant within one situation, which causes our minds to be stuck. We want to grow. We want to elevate, and we want to let go of things that may have happened to us, so that we can become better people and learn from what we had before.
Okay, perfect. So, I guess my final question to you would be, um, right now, since you learned so much through different situations, since you learned so much through your own conflicts in your own life, um, what is that one thing that you feel like you could share with someone to help? If they're currently going through a conflict right now that has been prolonged, maybe it's been a week, maybe it's been 2 weeks, maybe it's been a month. What are some things that you learned throughout your journey that can help with that conflict that they're going through?
I would say you gotta deal with it. Do not try to let it blow off. Do not try to extend it out, because all that does is it builds resentment between, not everybody does that, but most people, once something has happened to them and they think that the other person doesn't understand them, the other person isn't listening, just go ahead and speak to that person specifically. Just lay it out. Don't sugarcoat, don't sugarcoat it. Just, hey, I want to be honest with you. I want this to be over. I want to progress. What is A, B, and C that's bothering you? If that person refuses to respond, then that means they're not trying to progress. Then you have to reevaluate and see, is this going to be something that happens consistently, or is this someone that's actually here to work and grow with me? That'll just be a piece of advice. So definitely present those questions and ideas to that individual straight up front. And once you do that, then that lets that person know, hey, they're serious. Now they have an obligation to respond. If they don't want to continue with you, or they don't want to promote anything positive within the relationship that you guys have, then of course that may not be somebody for you. But if they do show signs of actually want to work with you after, if you give them some time and they think about it, and they respond back to you in a positive manner, then that'll be a good situation for you.
Okay, perfect. I said that was my last question, but I have one more question. So, you being a single male out here in this in the streets, in a sense, so going forward, like if you're out here trying to find a partner, if you're trying to find a significant other, what are some signs that you realize that person might like to be in conflicts for long periods of time, that they might like to have arguments that might not settle with you all too well? So what are some signs that you've seen, especially with different relationships you had in the past, that's like a trigger, like, okay, if this person acts this way, I know this person likes to be in conflicts for a while?
Well, I have several examples, but usually when you ask someone, hey, what's wrong, and they're silent, or you ask them what's wrong and they may not even respond to you within time. It's certain things that you just notice through body language and the way somebody responds to you when you ask them a question. If somebody doesn't want to answer a question, hey, I don't want to answer that question right now. But honestly, if nothing's holding you back from saying how you feel. So usually when somebody holds back how they feel at the moment, you're just hindering the understanding that we would need to continue on, if that makes sense. So I would just see issues where I would try to be as nice as possible, but then that person says, hey, well, you're not doing this, or there's always something that you want to complain about. So if there's something that is bothering you, let me know. Don't hide it and then show out emotionally, So that's what I saw. I also saw where they would pick at certain things just to get angry at you, or just to get you to react, saying provoking words like discouraging you, not respecting you. And respect is something that if you give to someone, you should expect. So even though I would show them respect, the respect wouldn't be shown to me. So that's something that I also noticed. And I treat people nice. I treat you the way you treat me. So if I'm treating you nice, there's no reason why you shouldn't be treating me nice. That means there's something inside of you which is bothering you, that is causing you not to want to treat me the same way I'm treating you. Just down talking, just body language which shows you're not interested in what I'm trying to ask you, or you're not even trying to look towards a solution for the problem. You just want to stay mad and not actually figure out, hey, I like this person, we want to grow, but me being mad isn't me growing. Me being mad is just me living within that negative energy, but you want to use that positive energy so that you can excel in life, and then you and that person can be happy.
Wow, very, very powerful statement. I see you have some wisdom on you, but so there's a couple people that just joined us. We're talking about prolonged conflicts within a relationship, relationships where you have an argument with someone and they want to stay in that argument. They don't really want to have a resolution or solution to the argument. They just want to be mad at you just to be mad. So, if you don't know who I am, I'm a collab coach. I focus on relationships, but not only intimate relationships, relationships with your friends, families, neighbors, co-workers, and the most important relationship of all, with yourself. Um, Thank you so much, Richard, who's also my brother. That's joining me through this call,
through
this
honor.
session.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'm doing a promotion this month, doing a special promotion for this month, which is for the month of March. Is pay per session. Pay per session. I have different coaching packages, but if you feel like you're ready for coaching, if you feel like you want to work on your relationships, if you feel like you want to work on a relationship with yourself, if you feel like you're ready for a relationship, you don't know where to start, or you've been hurt in previous relationships and you're now ready to work on becoming the best person you could be once you step into a new relationship, message me. Pay per session. If you feel like you just want one session, you just pay for that. If you feel like you want 2, 3, 4, 5 sessions, you just pay for that as well. It depends on you and what your need is. This is a special month, and this is the only month I'm doing this. So message me. This video is going to go on Richard's page and going to go on my page as well. Just message me, and then we're able to talk and see if we are a good fit. I'm not going to work with everyone who's not a good fit, and I'm not just going to force you to start coaching. This is all on you, and this is what you really want. So, as I said, join me on Facebook Live at least once every week. I'm going to have a special guest talking about different issues and topics and situations that you dealt with or currently dealing with. And if you want to join me, just let me know. I'll come to you. Simple as that. I have no problem coming to you so we can talk and have a conversation, and we can go on Facebook Live and share your experience with other people. So until then, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and be blessed. Thank you.